Creating themes in films. Theme is the unspoken, invisible moral message, deeper meaning, underlying idea, or essence of the film. What idea is controlling how and why life changes throughout the film from one condition to the next? Some common themes in films are love conquers all, good triumphs over evil, greed destroys, loyalty, balancing compromise, redemption, forgiveness, luck, the downside of runaway ambition, or finding meaning in life. The theme of most TV commercials is to buy our product. So when you watch a commercial, the underlying idea is buy our product. Films are a little bit more complicated. TV commercials are very slick and they're worth studying just to see how they get you to do that. Many themes can be narrowed down to just one word, such as love, greed, forgiveness, loyalty, or desire. Theme is what makes a movie memorable, and without it you will craft a soulless film that people forget right after they see it. I deal a lot with themes. I'm really into them. I think it's what makes stories have a lot of depth. I think themes are becoming a lot more popular in films. People are beginning to demand it. They want themes in films. You just need to kind of know how to work them in there, but once you get it, you'll be able to do it. So some of you may not even be that familiar with creating themes in films, or have not really had that much exposure to it, but we're going to spend a lot of time talking about that in this workshop. Not all movies have themes, so it's your choice whether or not you want to develop one in a film. A lot of action movies, they don't have themes. It's just like have fun, shoot people, car chases, things like that. There's not a theme. But if you look at the difference between the latest Hong Kong action flick and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, it's a theme. Everyone gets it. It's like it's got this kind of interwoven theme in there. It's like this extra depth, where a film without a theme, people feel it. They get that there's no message there in a way. You know, even if they can't put their finger on it, something doesn't feel as deep in that film. The thing with themes is you need to handle them very carefully. You don't ever want to approach a movie like, I'm going to teach you something, I'm going to communicate something to you, you're going to learn something. That's not a good way to approach making a film, because people don't like that. It feels too pushy and too preachy. Even if you're doing a documentary, you want to be careful how you come to your conclusions and communicate that. So themes involve a very soft touch and a subtle delivery. The most effective themes gently suggest the idea to the audience in a way that makes them think it's their own idea. That's the way you win an argument sometimes, or you get people to do things you want to. You kind of suggest things and you say, hey, you know, what do you think of this? Or, you know, you let them go, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Then they take it on more. It's manipulating it, but that's the way it goes. So you need to get a handle on that subtle way you're going to do this. You're not just going to slam them with the theme, because they'll coil. They'll be like, I'm not here to learn anything. This feels too theme heavy. We already talked about how you need strong opinions to be a good filmmaker. Great filmmakers care enough about their subjects to take a tenacious point of view. You must really believe in what your film is about, while showing us what you find to be beautiful, important, and moving. The best themes will come from your own emotions, experiences, and insights about how life works. So you need to believe in the theme you're creating and have some experience with that theme in your life. If you do not really believe in the theme you choose for your film, neither will your audience. So this is where you get to the emotional truth of things in a way, and sort of the universal truth in films. Theme as an iceberg. Look, there's no theme above the water, or there's just a little bit in our iceberg motif. So this is a drawing on how you could represent theme as an iceberg. Theme is the invisible foundation of the film. 90% of the iceberg is submerged, and so is the theme in your film. For theme to be successful, it must be unique, distinct, and invisible. So even if you have a one-word theme like forgiveness, you want to somehow make it distinct. You're going to have forgiveness for what? Maybe they all made a mistake. You don't want to bring it to the level of plot where people are talking about the theme all the time and it's really obvious. Have you ever watched a movie that was theme pushy? Have you ever seen one of those where you're like, okay, this is too theme heavy? You also only want to develop one theme per film, otherwise the meaning will start to unravel. You never want to take on forgiveness and luck. It'll be a problem. Woody Allen did a recent film called Match Point, and the film was about luck. And he even starts off with this tennis ball shot where the tennis ball is going back and forth, and he's talking about life, and he's talking about how much luck impacts people's lives. And then the tennis ball hits the net and it freezes above the net, and he talks about how it could go either way, and that's how life is. So he's telling you the theme in the opening shot. Then he uses that visual later on in the film, but every scene in that movie expresses luck in some way almost, so you can watch that and study it. In the film American Beauty, the theme is that desire leads to suffering. All of the characters in this film want something, and they suffer trying to get the goal of their desire. So you can just watch that film, and I'm going to give you a lot of films with themes that you could watch, but you could just watch that and see how desire leads to suffering in every scene almost. In the film Apocalypse Now, the theme is that there's a fine line between sanity and insanity. All of the characters in this film act insane but functional for the most part. The Vietnam War is a perfect setting for this theme too, since it provides a line of insanity during a very realistic chaos of combat scenes taking place in a guerrilla war. A guerrilla war is kind of insane. There's just really hard to tell if you're winning or not because it's kind of all over the place. So it's a perfect setting for this theme, which we're going to be talking a lot about, choosing settings that go with your themes. The lead character in Apocalypse Now is sent to assassinate a renegade colonel who has gone crazy deep in the jungle, killing a bunch of people. That's his plot goal. The protagonist, played by Martin Sheen, almost goes crazy too, trying to kill this crazy colonel in a crazy war. All these are great plot and character choices for illustrating the theme. Every character in this film is slightly crazy, but they're getting through like what they need to do. That's the reason Apocalypse Now is a great film. It's not because Coppola had, he was really good at doing jungle shots or showing war. He had a really good theme that made this film a classic. If he didn't have this theme, it would just be another war story. So that to me is the value of themes. It just makes your film so much more deeper and meaningful. And if you ask people, what's the theme of Apocalypse Now? Most people couldn't tell you. They walk out thinking war is crazy kind of thing. Let's look at an example of how you would develop a theme in a film. What if you wanted to explore the theme of synchronicity? Now, synchronicity is the idea that meaningful coincidences are happening that controls the outcome of life events perfectly. So like you meet the right people, you're in the right place at the right time, and there's this underlying thing going on in the background that's controlling all of these random things. So if you wanted to show this theme, you may want to first list visual ways to show it as it relates to the plot goal. So let's say your possible plot was a character trying to get to work on time. How do you show a character trying to get to work and coincidences that are meaningful controlling that? One of the first things you might do is maybe you have a character who's on his way to work and he meets people in unusual ways. And maybe he finds things or overhears strangely relevant information. Maybe he misses a bus only to get a ride from someone driving by who's a stranger who turns into a mentor. And maybe the mentor and the character get lost or their car breaks down or something, but he finds a new job he likes even better at the end that was better than his old job. Now, all of the plot situations are influenced and controlled by the prevailing theme of synchronicity, which is all these coincidences happening, but it's invisible. This is what's controlling the plot. He's trying to get to work on time and all these things are happening to him, and then he ends up in this place that's much better. So that would be a way of showing the theme of synchronicity.